Alright, here is the video guide for lesson 2.2.4 about how can I find the height of a triangle. And it's really a short lesson here just trying to investigate when is the height of a triangle going to be inside the triangle, when is it going to be right on the line of a triangle, and when is it going to be outside of the triangle. Okay, it's also going to be like how can I mark the height when I know a given base. Okay. And so, like I said, it's a pretty short lesson here. This first problem is just asking, we'll just read through it. It's going to ask you, does this Candace here have the height labeled? And if you think she does, then we'll try to calculate the area. Or if you don't, you need to mark on the diagram where that height would be. Okay. Now, the height lab is something that generally is done in person, but there is a Desmos activity that does a similar effect as the lab. It shows us what we need to see. It's not as hands-on, but it still does its job. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to use the e-tool on the following slides to investigate the behavior of a height of a triangle. And so then we're going to sketch that out. And so we have this area here to do our sketches, and what we're going to sketch is, well, the height of a triangle is inside the triangle. So we want to draw a triangle in which the height is going to be inside of it. And so we use the e-tool, and we say, well, this is a triangle where the height is inside of it, so I could sketch something similar to this one here. And I go back to my lesson and I sketch it. Okay. Now, the next one, again, another sketch, and you have that pad over here to sketch on, and we want to draw a triangle where the height of the triangle is on the side of the triangle. And so you can go back to your e-tool, and you can move this around to where the height might be on the side of the triangle, and then you write on there, or you draw on there what that triangle looks like when the height is directly on the side of a triangle. Okay, and then the last one, the height of the triangle being outside of the triangle, well, you go to your e-tool here and you want to make a triangle where the height is on the outside. Okay, and then you sketch it on the pad here, and then you are done with the height lab. You have seen the three types of triangles where these parameters exist. Okay, the next one here is just making sure we're able to sketch the correct height on a triangle. Okay, so like sometimes we'll see a base on its side, sometimes we'll see the base somewhere else. How do we know how to draw that height? Okay, this is one technique that they explain as to how to draw the height on there and to make sure you always get it right. But there's plenty of ways to do it, and a lot of this can just be done visually and seeing it. And so the first one, it wants us to draw where the height would be on this triangle. Okay, and remember too, even if I go back to the e-tool, the height always drops down and creates a 90-degree angle with your base. So keep that in mind as you're working. Okay, if you try to draw a height and you say, well, this is the height from here to here, well, that's not 90 degrees with the base. Okay, so make sure you're drawing one that has 90 degrees to the base. Now, this is an example where the base is really, it's up here, and so, you know, we don't want a height that goes, we don't want a height that goes from here down to here because that's not our base. This over here is not our base. And so we got to make sure we draw the correct base. And again, if you want to use that original method where you flip it down and you can redraw your sketch down here and say, okay, well now my triangle, if I flipped it, would look something like this, where my base is down here, and it makes more sense to me. You can do that too. That's why I put this sketch pad here. Next one, another funny base. So again, you could rotate it in the sketch pad here, or you could just try to draw it right on to the first one. One last one, you have a base and you need to draw the height. Again, remember, it always needs to form, the height always needs to form a 90-degree angle with that base. And after we investigated when it's inside, outside, or on the side, you should be able to do this one correctly. Now the last one, you have a triangle here. And what you need to do is you need to label each side. So you have like base 1 is right here, base 2 is right here, base 3 is right here. Okay, and then you need to draw the height to each corresponding base. So you need a height 1, you need a height 2, and you need a height 3, all in this diagram. Okay, and you'll see the varying heights depending on what we call our base. Okay. Now, it's a little small, so try your best. And what else I'll say before I move on to the next one is it can help to extend your base. So like base 3, it can help to extend it out to here. Base 2, it can help extend it. And I like to change colors. I think I put it in there too. Use a different color for each one. It can help to extend these bases because just in case the height is outside, when these are extended, at least you can draw and see that, okay, that looks like 90 degrees to me. Okay, then the last one, it's what I call the area toolkit. All right, and you are going to write in these 4 boxes the area of each shape. And I like to zoom in so I can fit it in here a little bit better, but just write the area formula for each, or write a diagram, draw a diagram for each relationship or each area, and then if you have any additional notes, you can put them in the box here. Okay, again, any questions on this one, any ones that you struggle with, please let me know. I'm happy to help and make videos.